Make sure everything's working. Everything up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Making sure everything's working. Beautiful. Okay. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Ephemeral One, and welcome to a game I've played a lot of on my own, but I felt like doing something. I've been playing so much of Elden Ring, I decided to do something a little different because I felt like it. This is not going to be a consistent thing, but when I feel like it. Anyway, this is Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. A game. Pathfinder is similar to Dungeons and Dragons as another famous role-playing system. Um, it's a lot of fun. The story is kind of interesting, and honestly, it's mostly an excuse to make characters based off my own universe of original characters, and get me back in and focus me back on doing my writing, which I've kind of lost track of. So, this will be a brand new game. We'll be doing the main story, of course. There's extra stuff, but none of that's too big to me. Difficulty. Hmm. Um. Dead companions rise after combat. Remove negative status effects on rest. This is just to keep things going. Auto level up on companions only. Yeah, that makes sense. Moderately weaker. Damage to party, we'll put to 1.0. We'll leave enemy stat adjustment alone, though. So, because we get to rise after combat and negative status effects on rest, we'll allow enemy stat adjustment. Yeah, we'll leave it standard. Actually, let's do an increased number of enemies. Allows enemies to use additional abilities and spells, sure. The party speed won't depend on the weight. We won't be that specific about it. Weather effects. Severity of penalties, how much damage now. Yeah, light or heavy, and we'll just leave it at light. Because that can just be annoying. Crusader character retrain is good. We'll leave it as Crusade. Yeah. Okay. And no, we'll let everyone get XP. It just makes life easier. Okay. So from there, then we get to decide or create a character. We can use Towlin, the half-elf cavalier. Sordara, an Oread cleric. Unilard, a human fighter. Rix, the gnomish rogue. Marnoon, a tiefling slayer. Engi, a human sorcerer. Oh, come on, you knew I was going to use a create a character. Come on, folks. That's half the fun of these types of games. So, and we get to choose an image that represents our character. If you read the description, this is my brother's journey. Only thing to note about with using character pictures, certain ones are reused for other story characters, so that can get a little awkward. But these ones down here are relatively safe to use. I'm thinking... No, not that one. Can make her characters. I might go back and play Kingmaker one day just cause. Wrath of the Righteous is generally just an overall improved experience, though, so it becomes kind of hard to go back. Okay, well, I was determined to. I was going through the races available because for my characters, none of the races work. My characters exist in a completely different world, so naturally none of the species are anywhere near correct. But I figured the closest I was going to get to what our main character would be Orc. So we'll be keeping him as one. In the meantime, his class. I was tempted to go Kineticist. But if I'm perfectly honest, Shifter and Dragonblood Shifter. Strength and majesty of the true dragons, gaining a measure of their power from their association. Yep. Yeah, I think that. There were two options in my head: a Shifter or Blood Rager. And for him, Spell Eaters. Enemy with divine magic, but sometimes a connection with the natural world manifests through arcane current in the veins of Blood Ragers called Green Rangers. Eldritch heritage and abilities that call powerful allies from nature and empower their blood range. So what does that change? Summoning Ranger. Unlocks the secrets of summoning allies from nature. Okay, so he gets summon nature allies. No, that wouldn't work. Primalist. So what do they get? Primal choices at 4th take his bloodline power or 2 barbarian rage powers. If the primalist chooses rage powers, those rage powers can be used in conjunction with his blood rage. No, I guess Shifter ends up being the correct choice. Yep, and it would have to be Dragonblood Shifter. Half Orc. Well, I guess I should go over the character. Yeah, Dragonblood would be as close as we're going to get. Human, tribal, +2 on all saving throws due to sacred tattoos, and +1 base on lore nature checks. Yeah, he's far more tribal than anything. And as far as training, he was a gladiator. At least that was his original. Wanderer would be another one. But none of those really speak to me. Mercenary. Yeah. Alright. Now, for as what... I should go back and actually show you all here. Okay. What you're seeing here, and to break this down, is the basic breakdown of what the abilities of being a shifter enables you to gain. And yeah. So, for example, at will, Shifter can use net claws that basically get stronger as you level up. They become all proficient in all simple weapons. Now, because of the particular type of Shifter, or what they call a subclass or a specialization, we don't get to choose from various selections, since we're channeling specifically a dragon. Yeah, so you can Draconic Mastery as a swift action. After activating the ability, the Dragonblood Shifter must select one of the chromatic or metallic dragon types. Her Draconic aspects abilities grant resistances and deal a type of damage based on the chosen dragon type. When shifted into this form, she gains Scent ability. They usually use Scent just specifically. And the energy resistance 5 against energy type that corresponds to the dragon type. Also prevents any damage with either the resistance or immunity provided by the draconic ability. And they also heal a number of hit points. Effectively, basically when they activate their dragon abilities, they gain various bonuses. Also, they're proficient in heavy and medium, even up to heavy and medium armor. But you should be aware that there's defensive instinct. At second level, when unarmored, not using a shield, and conscious, the shifter adds their wisdom bonus, if any, to their AC and their defenses, basically. The shifter gains +1 on the AC every 4th level. The bonus increases for every 4th level past that. These bonuses apply to AC even against flat-footed attacks. So they can use it, but typically speaking, depending on how they are, some shifters would actually benefit from wearing less. Third level shifter ignores movement penalties called by difficult immune to entangled condition and gains a +2 bonus to AC and attacks of opportunity. Now we don't get a major form because we have the various dragon shifting. That's what the X's mean, is their abilities we're losing. So again, another aspect. We do gain shifter's fury, several ferocious attacks, natural weapon. She can choose to single natural weapon to make full attack with a natural weapon, getting a second intro attack at -5. Yep. So basically you get some claws, but you become better with claws. So, yeah. As it stands, yeah. So, but that feels right for this character. So, now the question is, what is their strongest aspect? What is Rusala's strongest aspect? Well, his strength is definitely up there. Wisdom as well. Dex is good for keeping up moving. Yeah. Intelligence, he's fine. Charisma, fine. But yeah, this feels about right. So, remember, yeah, no. No, this feels about right. I could lose some in the other points to gain... to gain stats in other ones, but I think this is about good. We also have a racial bonus, which we could move around if we wanted, so we could have 3 16s. But I don't think that'll be absolutely necessary. If anything, I'm tempted to lose... yeah, lose a little dexterity to pick up another point in there. And... that's 17 strength, so it'll move up to... because I could do that, but that would still get me, yeah. 15, so a little more con. Yeah, I could... you know what? Yeah, charisma. So that makes sense. So his strength and wisdom are still fairly high, and but his strength is what stands out one of his strongest points. Athletics, perception, because that's always welcome, and lore nature, yeah. Lore nature represents a character's knowledge about the natural world and ability to command and train wild creatures. In addition, skill depends on strength score, and armor penalties apply to the skill checks. Athletics represents a character's talent for the deeds of physical prowess, such as leaping or scaling walls. Yep, so move a heavy object, climb on an obstacle, or jump. Or perception determines your ability to notice hidden traps and objects and determine your chances to not be surprised in case of a sudden attack. So, yeah, that seems about right. Now, what would be his weapon focus claw? Yeah, being adept at using his claws would be ideal for him. Dragon aspect, chromatic, neutral evil, neutral good, or he can use just about any draconic aspect. It would make sense. As far as definitely not atheism. Desna, Lady Luck. Yeah, Gazra is a dualistic deity of nature, a god of storm and sky, and also a goddess of wave and surf. Born of the ocean's fury and the wind's wrath, Gazra is a fickle deity. Yeah, that would make sense for Rusal. So chaotic, so true neutral. Yeah, kind of rides the winds of fortune and takes it as they come. Uh, no, smaller gut. Yeah, not so it'd be the body type 1. Let's see. Probably be about there. I'd say that's good. Lots of scars. If I can get anyone got like 2 or 3. Yeah, I'll take the major eye scar, the cliche. Colors, what ones do we have? We'll go dark then. They don't have yellow for this for orcs, so we won't. Picking the hair color. It doesn't really. Hmm. Yeah, we'll give him the basic chin. Okay. War paint? No. Tattoos. There we can at least see his hairstyle now. Oh, that's actually got a. Let's say, any of them got any really good? Yeah, that'll be closer. That'll be closer. I was gonna say, that's the closest. It's just swept back, but now we'll go with the done up dreads because I can think of one person who would do it. Okay, tattoos. Yeah, his arms. At the very least, the arms. I was gonna say unless they had some for the arms and legs. Yes, they do. Okay. Okay, I can live with that. Be more. Be a darker blue. They got one. There we go. Yep, there we go. That looks better. Clothes color would be. Again, similar kind of dark blue. And just black, yeah, that works. Alright.
I have no use for this.
Confident?
All
No.
I see is blackness.
I shall not falter.
Let us be off.
Everyone counts on me.
None shall escape!
No.
We will be victorious.
No, I don't
Not
feel
that I care.
Are you still here?
I'll need to review this spell later. This is my path.
Yeah, no, that. Brave sounded the closest, so. My brother. Rusala Kalten. Birth. Doesn't really translate too well, so we'll just do like. Yeah, June 16th works.
You're done for.
So, this is what we have now. Rusala Kalten. A dragon blood shifter half-orc, strength of 18, dexterity of 12, con of 15, intelligence of 10, wisdom of 14, charisma of 11. Not too much to talk about. A very strong melee character. We'll get into the actual, what is the differences in the actual character another time. For now, let's get into it. Let the story begin. Code of the Paladins of Shayla. And so our story begins at a festival. A place where people are happy and celebrating. And our main hero is brought in on a stretcher.
Hey, somebody! We got a wounded fighter. Can we get a healer over here?
My, would you look at this? But why would you drag a wounded fighter into the middle of the festival square? Couldn't he be carted off somewhere else, like, oh, I don't know, an infirmary? Or an accommodating ditch?
I still love that comment.
Make room, everyone. Step back. Now, what's the matter? What happened to him? The wound looks nasty. Who did this to him?
Oh my.
Demons, Prelate. We found him barely alive outside the walls of Canabris.
Alright. Now, before we advance, there's actually something you should know about this game. Look to the bottom and see it says Open Glossary. This can give you background information on, citing things and help you get a sense of your situation, who's talking and what the importance is. So, for example, we can go back here. The guard said demons. Demons are malign and destructive creatures native to the outer sphere plane known as the Abyss. Demons exist for one reason: to destroy. Where their more lawful counterparts, the devils of hell, seek to twist mortal minds and values to remake and reshape them into reflections of their own evil, demons seek only to maim, ruin, and feed. They recruit mortal life only if such cohorts speed along the eventual destruction of hope and goodness. Death is, in some ways, their enemy, for a mortal who dies can often escape a demon's depredations and flee to their just reward in the afterlife. It is the prolonging of mortal pain and suffering that fuels a demon's lusts and desires, for it is partially from mortal sin and cruelty that these monstrous fiends were born. And Canabris. It's a D&D game, folks. It's a role-playing game. There's going to be a ton of reading. Canabris is a city... Plug my controller in. Just popped out. Okay. Canabris is a city of glory, but not one of spotless virtue. Until the First Mendevian Crusade, it was a small town perched atop a bluff overlooking the West Selen River. During the final dark days of Sarkoris, historical refugees splashed across the river and sought safety behind the wall of Canabris. At first, these refugees were allowed in unquestioningly. However, a Liltu demon named Ming Hao entered Canabris magically disguised as a refugee. Once inside the town's walls, she revealed her true form and slaughtered dozens of citizens, before vanishing in a cloud of greasy black smoke. After the Red Morning Massacre, as it was called, Canabris refused entrance to any except those who could demonstrate the direst need. Individuals who fell under suspicion were turned away or executed on the spot. Canabris became known as a safe but suspicious city. By the time of the Second Crusade, the leaders of Canabris agreed to house one of the ward stones to guard against the demonic hordes pouring from the World Wound. Okay. This act assured Canabras' role as a strategically vital city, the key to the defense of Mendev. So, this is a city where, due to bad experiences, you're very likely to be suspected.
The walls, you say? Enemy doesn't usually stray so close to the city. Must fortify the defenses. And you, hold fast. Don't die. We'll see you right.
Not that he commands us not to die. Not, hold on, it's, hold fast, don't die, we'll see you right.
We'll get you patched up now. But first, you there, guard. Take his weapons. Bearing arms is not permitted during the festival. Wounded or not, everyone must abide by the rules. He can get his things back after the festival. O Inheritor, leader of our troops, the sharpened edge of our blades and the unyielding strength of our armor, Iomade, I beseech you, grant your mercy. Heal his wounds.
The magic envelops you, but your pain lessens only slightly. And Iomede, the Inheritor, Light of the Sword, and Lady of Valor, is the goddess of righteous valor, justice, and honor. Having served as Eridan's herald, she inherited many of the last Aslante's followers upon his death, and continues to espouse the ideas of honor and righteousness in the defense of good and the battle against evil. So, do we say, now we have our first option on how we respond. Do we beg for water? Just growl and go, I won't give up that easily. Plead for merciful death. Or grit our teeth in silence. My brother, Rusala. I won't die that easily.
Hear, hear! That's the Crusader spirit. My powers are not enough here. Someone call for Terendelev. You there! Yes, you! Stop dithering and gawping and make yourself useful. Go and get Terendelev!
Okay.
Prelate, surely there is somebody else here better suited to running errands.
I'll get her! Terendelev! Has anyone seen Terendelev?
Be quick about it before it's too late. Now, who are you? I don't remember seeing you before, and I have an excellent memory for faces.
Get used to us making decisions, and by and large I'm going to respond as on default for what my brother would. So, Rusala Katan. Just introduce himself. I came to the city on private business. I've lived in the city a long time. I'm just a traveler passing by. Don't remember, or who I am is none of your business. He just introduced himself. I'm Rusala Katan.
That's the first I've heard of that name. Who are you, then? What's your business in the city?
But before we can answer...
My dear prelate, please, for the sake of the festivities, stop interrogating this poor man. He has been through enough already. Go on. I'll take care of him.
All right, as you wish. You are our protector, and a dragon at that. So I shall defer to your wisdom. But be on your guard. I've been informed he was wounded near Canabras. That means the demons are prowling just outside the walls, and the city is crawling with their spies. Others may be able to relax on this holiday, but not you or I. Not the defenders of this city.
Muttering discontentedly, the old man walks off.
Pry loose the grudging grip of pain. Cast off the veil of suffering flesh. Let light and life go forth in triumph to repel the skulking shade of death. There.
A beautiful silver-haired woman leans over you. She seems ageless, her face wholly unlined, but centuries-old sadness gleams in her eyes. And the longer she speaks, the stronger her voice becomes. Well, the worst thing we can be is ungrateful. Thank you.
I accept your thanks, but my work is not yet done.
And who are you?
My name is Terendelev. I am the protector of this city.
Do you know what happened to us?
I do not know yet, and that troubles me. I am not entirely sure what the demons did to you. This wound is no ordinary injury, and it was inflicted by no ordinary weapon. I have rid you of your pain and restored your strength, but only time will allow you to heal fully.
Then am I free to go?
Certainly, but be careful. I have managed to get you back on your feet, but I have not healed you fully. Alas, sooner or later, your pain will return. But do not be discouraged. You will recover, I promise you that. Tomorrow, come to the cathedral and say that you are expected by Terendelev, protector of Canabris. We will find a way to help you. But for now, put this out of your mind and enjoy the festival. They are all too rare in this time of war, and merriment is one of the best medicines.
So we have our first quest. Sample the special festival drink. So, we are now officially in control. So, there are various ways to control the game. I love that about this. I can use the left stick to move the character. I could also press the left D-pad, and I can control them by clicking on the ground and instructing them. I prefer to do it this way, but there's plenty of other ways. In addition, we can control multiple party members using L2 and various aspects of our individual character using R2. Here we see our character screen. We're level 1, we're wearing some engraved lucky bracers. These bracers have been through you thick and thin. The right one is inscribed with your name, Rusala Kautan, and the left with the words, I promise. Interesting. Beyond that, strangely enough, only our main character can equip these bracers. They give a +1 luck bonus to AC and +1 luck bonus to reflex, will, and fortitude. That's quite a bonus for early. Our hands are empty. We were carrying, though, a potion of Shield of Faith and a potion of Cure Light Wounds. We're wearing basic studded leather, and that's about it.
Ready.
In addition, you can always check your character stats, and just gives you the basic rundown, feats, traits, and all that. But yeah, and we can talk with citizens. Yep. A drink. Yep, but a lot of people have a lot of the same stuff to say. They're here to relax and enjoy the day. Terendelev and Hulrun, the old man, are discussing, as ever. Arash Fajan. I have a terrible feeling something's going to happen, as usual. Dayron. Oh, and he Gus goes on his way. As you might expect, anyone with an actual name is actually somewhat important. Sela. I remember, I do. Jenna Aldori. Days already, and I love it. The future's going to be grand indeed. Alright, and this is an icon when you can do something to adjust. We were told to enjoy the special festival drink, so we get to do just that. Alright. And if you're ever curious about what you should be working on, go to the right stick and journal. That'll tell you. So we can now hit the mannequin or throw a dart at the target. Where's that? Well, we can look around. The war doesn't exist. Desna grants us peace. Desna being one of the local deities. So, We're strong. Let's take a swing at this statue, at the mannequin. Line it up. And swing. Right in the jaw. Oh. But our party's been cut short. Demons, many of them, just teleported into the city. What had once been merry now is nothing but a battlefield. A field of slaughter, more like, though. Though Terendelev seems to be holding her own. With some...
Discari, Lord of Locusts, leave my city!
Oh!
Let the feast begin.
Terendelev's just been killed.
Discari's here. Discari himself. Blimey! One minute we had a dragon, the next, bam, she was gone. What are you gonna do? Fight or flee? If fleeing's your plan, let me help you out. I've got a scroll here with a good protective spell.
Discari. Larger than an elephant, this tower insectile nightmare wields a scythe made of bone. His wings are swarms of biting flies, and his inhuman eyes glitter with cruel intelligence. Discari, demon lord of chasms, infestations, and locusts, is believed by many scholars to be the usher of the apocalypse. He carved his realm from the raw matter of the abyss, using the great scythe rift carver, a weapon he crafted from the remains of the strange creature his father, Pazuzu, mated with tens of thousands of years ago. Discari and his cult long plagued the northern nation of Sarkoris, where his cultists were eventually driven into the Lake of Mists and Vales of Aradin. Yet, upon Aradin's death, Discari's influence on Galarian ripened and burst, transforming Sarkoris into the demon-haunted Worldwound. So, I've seen you before.
Yeah, you have. You owe me your life. I'm the one who found you outside the walls and brought you inside to be healed. I see they've patched you up. Good thing they did it before the attack, or else you'd have been done for.
Well, we know who Discari is now. We looked it up. So, do we look for a weapon to fight? Or do we flee? In this situation, my brother knows well enough. He'd flee. I think I'm going to look for a way out of here. Give me that protective spell.
Right away. Stand still now. No fidgeting while I cast this on you. Good luck! Try not to get eaten now!
The halfling's words are drowned out by a terrible rumbling and rustling of countless tiny wings. This doesn't seem a battle he can win. Ooh, he hit.
A mortal gnat snaps its jaws at the Lord of Locusts.
Whoa,
Behold, Iomade. Behold the death I sow.
Whoa. Ouch. That hurt. That's gonna hurt. Alright.
The silver dragon Terendelev, the defender of Canabris, fell in battle. Hardly surprising, as she had to fight the demon lord Discari himself. He willed the land to part and swallow all who dared to stand in his way. But the war was still far from over.
The festival organized to raise spirits of the city has ended in death and disruption. Alright. Find others. Yeah. The last chapter, to complete this quest or it'll fail afterwards. Yeah. No, you aren't gonna get it without. Alright. Those lucky enough to survive ended up in the ancient catacombs beneath Canabras. Catacombs in which, so the rumors say, live a brood of bloodthirsty humanoid creatures. One strike of the Demon Lord's titanic scythe and the merriment turned to terror, and the toasts of celebration turned to moans of the dying. For those lucky enough to survive the calamity, it makes sense to seek out fellow travelers in this misfortune. So, one other thing we can do in the character is check effects and conditions. So, strangely enough, we have Featherfall cast on us for another 2 seconds. The affected creature or objects fall slowly. Take no damage upon landing while the spell is in effect. When the spell duration expires, the normal rate of falling resumes. Huh. We also have False Life. You harness the power of Unlife to grant yourself the limited ability to avoid death. While this spell is in effect, you gain temporary hit points equal to 1d10 plus 1 per caster level. So, I believe our normal HP is the 13, so we have an additional 8 HP at the moment, thanks to that spell. Wait, but it's still shaky.
Oh, holy mother of...
A small woman with messy brown hair winces in pain, uttering a stream of curses through her clenched teeth. She is pinned to the ground by a couple weighty boulders.
Hey, stay with me. You actually got pretty lucky. You fell down into a black hole. But at least you're not on your own. You've got a great companion. Everything's going to be just fine. Tell me something. Can you feel your legs?
I feel them all right. Wouldn't say no to a little less feeling in them. My ankle's killing me, but my back seems to still be in one piece. My head, too.
That's all that matters. Now, we're going to... Hey! Fancy meeting you down here. You're the one that Terendelev healed today, right? You aren't injured, are you? Will you help me get her out from under the boulders?
Now, this is something to know. These are skill checks. So, based on your skills, you'll get bonuses based on how good you are, and then an unseen roll will happen, resulting in whether you pass or fail. Like here, we saw Rusala has +7 in athletics. So they'll roll a die. So he needs only a 5 out of 20 to be able to do it. So he's got a 75% chance of success. Versus a knowledge world check, which he only has a 1 in, and would only need an 11 or higher. Same with diplomacy, but note that the shift here would make us more evil if we did that. We could also ask, why should we help her? But my brother is, like you said, he's a reasonable sort, so naturally, athletics 12. Failed it. Oof. Rolled a 4. Oh, of course. You work hard to get the wounded woman out from under the rubble. At last the knight stops to catch her breath and wipe the sweat from her brow.
Damn it all. I think it's broken. Oh well, I've had worse. I'll just make myself a splint out of something. Thanks for the help. I wouldn't have lasted long on my own stuck under there. I'm Inevia Tirabade, of the Eagle Watch. I was overseeing security at the festival square. I thought maybe spies or demon worshippers might have something nasty planned. What actually happened, though, Now that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone could have been prepared for that.
No, I don't think so. No, I think that was definitely one of those.
Well, I'm Sela, paladin by the grace of Iomade. I crossed the whole continent to come to Mendeb and fight demons. And well, I've been fighting for a while now.
Yeah, living the good life then.
I don't even want to think what might be happening up there in the city. Canabres has lost the protection of Terendelev, and of the Wardstone too, looks like. It's a relic without equal. It was placed here personally by Iomede's herald, with the goddess's blessing. I really wanted to go see it, to pray before it. But there's no point worrying about a stone when there are people dying in the streets.
Sela's a paladin. Paladins by their nature are lawful good, which means they try to do the best by all things and keep the right and good of the world alive. However, Sela is played a little differently. We'll see over the course of the story, but it's nice to see a fresh interpretation of a paladin, one I truly do enjoy. Now, as far as the Wardstones are a chain of powerful artifacts keeping the World Wound's expansion at bay. The first and greatest in a chain that was erected by the city of Canabres by the hand of the inheritor himself, a golden winged angel sent by the goddess Iomade.
Yeah, things are looking grim enough, but don't lose heart. Wardstone or no, dragon or no, Canabres will never give in. Simple as. Well, we've introduced ourselves. What about you?
I came here to fight the abyss. I'm a scholar. I came to see the world wound with my own eyes. One person's war is another person's opportunity. I'm in the city to seek my fortune. I'm led by destiny. I don't know why fate brought me here, but I feel it was not by chance. I'm a traveler, and I just wound up here by chance. My name is Rusala Kalten, or who I am is none of your business. He's got a real dry sense of wit. No, he's not really. I'm the dry one. He's the one who would just boldly say it outright. Because he would end up here by the planning of several people he would know.
Destiny is destiny. So it's either one or the other. Either fate is having a right old laugh at your expense, or Lady Luck sent you to us for a reason.
Fate isn't what brought us here, and fate won't get us out either.
True enough.
Now then, I'll hobble my way out of here somehow. The city ain't far, only 30 paces or so. That's if you're going straight up, of course. I'm afraid we're gonna have to go the long way round.
Indeed.
To summarize, there are 3 of us, with 5 working legs, 3 pairs of decent hands, 2 clear heads, and 1 made of wood. That's mine. Underground monsters beware! Anevia, you stay behind us. You're in no fit state to fight. If we do come up against anything, the 2 of us will try to manage on our own first. Well, onward! May the good deities lead us back to the open sky soon.
Indeed. So, now unfortunately, there's one thing I want to mess with. This is the formations. I just want to move us so we're closer together. You'll see why. The other thing I want to do then, we are now going to be able to go into combat. And for that, we'll need some of our abilities. So, we have charge, coup de grace, full round action. You can use a melee weapon to deliver a coup de grace to a helpless opponent. You automatically hit and score a critical hit. If the defender survives the damage, they must make a fortitude chain save or die. Deliver a coup de grace provokes attacks of opportunity from threatening opponents. You can't deliver coup de grace against a creature that's immune to critical hits. Basically, you take the full round and make sure they die with that shot. I'm not going to bother throwing it up. We're probably better not. Treat affliction, you require first aid kits, but you're able to, using the lore religion, basically help you do a medical check in case somebody. If you're good with persuasion, you can try and shake up an opponent. Fight defensively, you can get less on attack, but you get +2 dodge bonus to your armor. If you have 3 more ranks in mobility, you get +3 instead. Acrobatics mobility, you can move through a threatened square. Basically, you can avoid attacks of opportunity by using acrobatics skill. You move at half speed, however. Inspire rage, don't worry about that. That basically means when somebody's if somebody can bless you with a rage effect, you can accept it. Now we're getting into the abilities we really want. Shifter claws. At will, a shifter in their natural form extend their claws. This is always welcome. So basically, you see how we have in the top right corner there, our attack. We have +5 and we do 5 to 7 damage. The mace means it's blunt damage of 1d3 + 4 times 2 if we crit. But if we activate our shifter claws, we are now doing 1d4 + 4. So in addition, the sword means we are doing a combination of slashing and bludgeon damage. So we can hit both. In addition, because of our abilities, we actually move our attack up to +6. So, that can come in quite handy.
I tire of waiting.
So, we definitely want to keep that on shifter claws. Then we have our draconic aspects. Basically, because we can use any dragon aspect, we can then activate it inform for a number of minutes per day, and you have to be spent in 1 minute increments. So basically, for 1 minute we gain various bonuses and debuffs. But we don't have anything too major at the moment. Basically, we just have access to our claws. Whole room, put all the confiscated weapons in the chest. Take a look, maybe your things are there. Yep, there are things here, but none of ours, because we never came armed. Rusala obviously used only the real easy way to tell, though, only brought their own claws to fight with, if they needed to. So, and that's a natural effect. Now, as far as their nice little feature there you probably noticed is the little item bag symbol on the slot. That means you can access and put something in that slot if you want. So we have the claws. We could try using a spear or a short spear, but more than likely, with the skill focus we picked up, our claws will be the most effective attack we have. So, then down here, Terendilev's Scale. You can restore life to a deceased party member. A raised creature has a number of hit points equal to their current maximum hit dice. Also removes Death's Door. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal, though. And the subject of the spell gains 2 permanent negative levels when raised, just as if it had been hit by an energy-draining creature, though it cannot gain a number of negative levels greater than its total hit dice this way. A creature whose permanent negative levels already equal its hit dice cannot be brought back to life through Raised Dead. So you can't be raised infinitely, but it is an option.
Who's there?
The fine apparel of this young half-elf woman is torn and stained with blood, dust, and dirt. She holds herself with such dignity that you will be forgiven for thinking you are at a high society party and not in the dank catacombs under the city. Her fingers grip her rapier hilt with confidence, ready to draw at a moment's notice. At her feet lies a dead body, so mutilated that at first glance it's hard to tell if it's animal or human.
Relax, friend. We're not demons or cultists. Don't poke my eye out with that thing, all right? We fell down here during the attack. I'm Sela, that's Anevia, and this is our new friend. We're looking for a way back to the surface.
Really? I'm so ever glad to hear it. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Camellia. I was also in the square when... I can scarcely believe it. How did all those demons get into the city? I thought, naively it now seems, that the Wardstone protected us from attack. And Tarendalev, I can't wrap my head around it.
Not many could withstand this strike from a demon lord, not even Tarendalev, though.
I can't argue with that. We're fortunate to be alive, albeit underground.
Discari himself has come to Canabras. There's no mistaking that ugly mug. Tarendalev tried to fight him, but what could she do against a near deity? Even the Wardstone was no help. Our city used to be protected by powerful forces, but now...
She just shakes her head.
We've seen how powerless they truly are. Henceforth, we shall have no one but ourselves to rely on, I suppose.
By the way, what happened to this poor man? Who is he?
I don't know. He must have been in the square when disaster struck. I tried to revive him, but he was already dead, sadly.
He didn't get these wounds from the fall. Be on your guard. Whatever killed him likely hasn't gone far.
Indeed.
Hang on. I think I know him. His name's Aravashniel, the egghead from the library. He was a good lad, even if he was kind of stuck up. May his soul rest in peace.
If you've forgotten, Arashvinal was one of the people who said I had a bad feeling about today. Well, do you want to join us, Anivia? Do you want to join us, Camellia?
Certainly. Survivors should stick together. It's only sensible. Who knows what else could be prowling about in these caves?
Well, we need to keep moving. There may be a way back to the surface somewhere around here.
That's right. It would be the height of foolishness to survive a demon attack only to perish under a pile of rubble.
Let's see if this poor bloke has anything useful on him. Not to sound like a heartless brigand or nothing, but we kinda need all the supplies we can get right now.
That's true. Now, here you'll notice Camellia has some HP damage. If you look on the left-hand side, her HP bar isn't full. And if you check by going over to her, she does have a spell book. She has Cure Light Wounds, 2 casts of that, Enlarge Person. Then the rest of these are what is known as cantrips, so basic spells you can use endlessly. But they're kind of middling. In addition, she still has Charge, Spirit Weapon Enhancement, that gains a +1 to her weapon for 1 minute. As well as, she also has the Ghost Touch, but at this point Spirit Weapon is going to be the better choice. Ghost Touch just allows her to, as you might expect, hit ghosts. In addition, she's also a shaman. Surrounds herself with the spirit of battle. Allies within 30 feet of the shaman, including the shaman themselves, receive a +1 morale bonus on attack rolls and weapon damage rolls. And at 8th level and 16th level, these bonuses increase by 1. The shaman can use this ability for a number of rounds per day equal to 3 plus their charisma mod. So they can use it in however many rounds they wish. In addition, we didn't take a look at her, but as you might expect, our paladin has some abilities. Smite Evil, which basically allows you to hurt a target even more, but excuse me. But that's about it. So, the 3 of us together, a shaman, a paladin, and a shifter.
Let us be off.
Alright, we're actually going to be switching to... I'm going to be largely keeping this game in turn-based. I may go to real-time sometimes when things get chaotic, or are just going to go swifter, but generally I'll be keeping to turn-based to make it easier to follow what's going on. So, for now, we have a combat log. Just move it down. Alright, when combat happens... Yeah. So, Lore Nature failed, so we didn't... So we lost it by, though we had the modifiers, we actually only rolled a 2. So we don't get to know too much about our enemies. Initiative roll, we got an 11, a 6. The centipedes all rolled much better than us. And of course, Seela got a 19, yeah. So that's where you see how the initiative worked out. So, from here, we can order Seela to attack the closest one. And missed. Rolled a 1. Yep. Attack result is natural 1. Armor class 15. Nope. So, nothing else she can do, so we'll have to end turn. Centipede comes up. They're all but surrounding Rusala at this point, but, well, let's see if Camellia can maybe get a better strike in. Yep. So, she got a attack plus 6. Camellia attacks. She rolled a 11 plus the 7, so she hit. And then damage. Alright, other, she was flanking. She's considered flanking, so that helped. Yep. She dealt 6 damage, killing it. So, and we get 4 XP for it. Next one, Centipede moves up. And managed to hit Rusala for 1. So from here, you'll note that he gets to attack twice. That's what the times 2 means, because he uses claws. So the first one hits. With the claw, dealt 6 damage, is 1d4 plus 4. Yep. And now we just keep going. Seela manages to take a shot. And there Nevia managed... Nevia's a more experienced person, but of course because she's unfortunately injured, she's going to be a little slow to combat. But she's an excellent archer. So, with that understood, we can move on. I suppose with Discari around, giant flies shouldn't be much of shouldn't be a surprise. Nice. Got 2 off. Uh-oh. They managed to affect him. Alright, so he failed. Saving throw failed. Affect disease. Well, we'll have to see what that disease does. Alright. So, what does that disease do? The Demon Plague. Alright, once a day may make 1d3 1d3 Constitution damage, 1d6 Wisdom damage, and fatigue. Needs to save 3 times to cure it. And won't be rid of it until he does.
We won't falter!
Yep, but he got max damage on both. So...
I'll cut you wide open!
Wow. For a woman that seems to be very high class and upscale, I'm gonna cut you wide open. Kinda weird. Apparently she's very vocal in a fight. Note that Rusala can only attack twice so long as he doesn't move in the combat. As long as he's just attacking, it doesn't matter. Yeah, more centipedes. Yeah, hopefully.
Guide my blade.
There goes Seela. We'll just have the centipede come to us. Yeah. Or we can use the charge action, which allows us to if we have a straight line to someone, we can run and attack in the same motion and bring ourselves closer. Nice. And because he did the damage... Yep. Caster must... fatigued. Oh. Right. Seal is currently fatigued from moving the rock because we failed that skill check in helping them move it to get a Nivea. So, we'll just move everyone closer. Missed the first one, didn't miss the second time. Some more bracers, healing, and inflict light wounds. So, the bracers we have already, but how about giving them to Sela? After all, nope. See, this is a warning though. Because she has banded mail, it doesn't do anything. However, maybe, nope, same thing, the chain shirt. So if we removed it, yeah, her armor would be 16 versus the 19 it is with the chain shirt. So yeah, we don't have anyone who could really take advantage of those bracers at the moment. They're basically mostly for casters, trying to give them some kind of chance of resisting damage. But yeah. So, we got infected already. But, we'll do our best to survive. Oof. The fighting is fierce up there. The world's still shaking. Alright. Well, we're getting there. Nice, the giant fly's gone. And Nevia gets the centipede, and we're good. Only, combat's not ended, so we've not gotten everything. Bear in mind, until you go into the yellow... Yep, okay. And that was an attack of opportunity. Because the centipede ran past Camellia and didn't attack her, stop to attack her, she got a free attack as it ran past. Which is a nice little thing to bear in mind. That is a mechanic that happens both ways. What we looted was just some basic plants. If you're curious, rainbow quartz. This reagent can be used to brew potions or scribe scrolls. Same with flame tongue. This is a cooking ingredient. You use it to cook something while resting.
We should move.
So,
We will be victorious.
So, we got some resources for cooking. You know, Camellia got... Basically what we got is a surprise round due to being able to ambush the monitor lizard here. It's not aware of us, but we are aware of it. So we can make an attack. There we go. Basically able to get it in on it before everything else goes. Nice. Of course. Now, let's see. We have it flanked, so... Well, we can try and flank it more. See if that kills. No?
The world in crimson.
Oof. Nice damage. And Rusala has two more swings at it. And gets one of the hits. But... Anivia steals the show.
Onwards.
And our luck being what it is, we failed to skin the monitor lizard. Which, just to show you, it's a lore nature check. It was a DC of 17. We rolled a 1. So, admittedly, we needed at least a 9. But, man, that's rough. Oh, there's someone down here.
No, I can't just walk away. It's got to be here somewhere.
You struggle to make out the man's features in the gloom. As soon as he steps into the circle of light, however, you realize that you have never encountered a creature like this before. The stranger looks like a work of a vivisectionist who attempted to stitch together a lizard and a man.
Wenduok!
The man notices you and freezes. A curling horn protrudes from his head, casts a malevolent shadow over the cave wall.
Lan, did you find it? Who is that?
The woman looks just as strange as her companion, like a cross between a cat and a spider. When she catches sight of you, she immediately drops into a fighting stance. Her movements reveal the lethal grace of a wild predator.
The do-gooders here to save our mongrel souls, no doubt. Wait. They might know what's going on up there.
You should... Well, demons are laying waste to Canabras, if you must know.
If things are as bad as you say, then we all have to hurry.
Oh?
You didn't come from the direction of the shield maze. Damn it. I couldn't care less about what's happening on the surface, but the maze...
I realize that you guys have your own troubles, but we need to be in Canabras. People are dying up there. Please, show us the way out.
Who are you? Tieflings?
Tieflings are the descendants of people who sullied themselves by mating with demons. Our ancestors would never sink that low. We are the Underground Crusaders, the children of the Crusade's finest.
Oh?
Sadly, Underground Crusaders is a bit of a mouthful, so people usually just call us mongrels.
Of course.
You just love repeating that, don't you, Lan? Mongrels. That's what the Uplanders call us. But we call ourselves Neathers.
Neither here nor there, I suppose.
No matter what you call us, it's not gonna stop our horns, hooves, or tails from growing.
What is this place?
This is the hall where we remember the glory of our forebears. Sorry about the mess. It doesn't usually look like this, trust me. Sometimes we even wipe the dust off the exhibits.
Yeah.
This is where the relics of the first Crusaders are displayed. Our lives are short. Our glories are quickly forgotten. But this place helps us to remember that we are just as worthy as anyone else. And that our lives are not lived in vain.
So so it's a place of remembrance, a temple to those who came before. Okay, makes sense.
The first Crusaders? You've been down here that long? That's crazy.
And what were you doing here?
That's none of your bit.
We're looking for a holy sword. It was here, in the center, sticking out of a rock. The sooner we find it, the better. Some kids from our tribe took off for the shield maze. They figured it had collapsed, and now it's their time to go up to the surface, like all the legends foretold.
Legends, huh?
Except they don't have a clue what's waiting for them up there. They're not fighters. And Saul, the chief of our tribe, is dead set against it. He says that now isn't the time for the Underground Crusaders to take up arms. If we get the Holy Sword, we might be able to change the chief's mind.
It's a fool's errand. None of us will be able to hold the sword, let alone use it to save anyone. It's not an ordinary weapon. It's made from righteous heavenly flame, and will burn anyone who touches it. Do you think you're special, Lan?
I'll pick it up with my teeth and tie it to my hand if I have to. It doesn't matter. An angel's sword and a troop of stalwart mongrels will be able to work a minor miracle. Speaking of which, You're still here, Wendu, which means that deep down, you know it's possible.
Is it? A maze? What are you talking about? Does that really lead to the surface?
Yes. There are other ways up, but they are far from here. And after the earthquakes, there's a good chance they've collapsed. But the maze... There's a legend among our people that when the walls of the maze fall, that will be a signal for us, the underground crusaders, that the time has come to go up to the surface and fight the demons in the final confrontation. Until then, the people say the maze is shielding us from taking rash actions. I'm the only one in our whole tribe to have been in the maze. And even I don't know if it's true. But the further I went in the maze, the fresher the air became. That means that it really must lead to the surface.
Indeed.
When the ceiling and walls started shaking, the young ones in our tribe lost their heads. They figured the maze was going to collapse, so it was time to go up to the surface. They grabbed whatever weapons were on hand and ran off toward the maze. They think the maze is no longer a danger to them. They've been listening to Wendwog too much.
So they believe the time has come, just when the reality of it is a particular demon lord happened to be smashing the floor. Okay.
Don't try to blame this on me. Yes, I told them that our people are capable of making our way through the maze. In the future. But I always told them to wait until I had made a map of all the maze's dangers. I warned them 100 times. But it was no use. My words just went in one ear and out the other.
Well, we'll find the sword faster if we work together. Let's cut this short. You can imagine the rest. So, I'll help you look for it.
Thanks. An extra pair of eyes can only help. The sword will be easy enough to spot. It looks, swordy. Help us, and in return, we'll get you out of here.
Now we're talking. Let's get to work. It's a good thing we all bumped into each other, isn't it?
What, you want to find the sword quickly so the underground monsters bring you back to the surface? So be it.
Alright. So, our path to the surface is these two nethers.
What's that?
And this gives you a tutorial about finding hidden secrets. Using the perception skill, you can spot all sorts of hidden goodies. Here we have the lore religion DC 17. Statue of an unknown knight. The technique is crude, but the figure was clearly crafted with genuine feeling. Was that a success? Nope, Carmelia failed the lore check. The system automatically picks the person who has the highest skill. So, for example, we know that we don't have much, but apparently Camilla's knowledge religion is +3. And believe it or not, the Paladins is actually only a +1. +6 on Persuasion. So Sela's good at knowing the world and Persuasion. Whereas Trickery, Deception, and Mobility, Stealth, it's clear she's got a lot of handy skills.
I'll make my own legend.
This room looks like an improvised museum, or perhaps some kind of temple. But yeah, some jewelry, handful of gems, an item of craftsman or a collector. A merchant would pay well for it.
Let us be off.
Indeed. And we're still just looking for resources. Grinding stone, something to sharpen a weapon, some rubble. Oh, we found it. A strange flash pierces the gloom, and Rusala Kalten feels drops of searing blood run down his chest. The wound healed by Terendelev reopens and weeps scarlet. But there's no pain or weakness. A hazy scene appears, a cave chamber. This one or another one entirely? Rusala Kalten's heartbeat quickens and a stream of thoughts suddenly bursts into his mind. Thoughts that clearly belong to another. Treachery! They betrayed me, trapped me, and stabbed me in the back. My trusted allies, my treasured friends, the people I swore to protect, the people for whom I descended from heaven and came to this turbulent mortal world. They are up there, up ahead, in the gloom of the cave. What are they waiting for? Are they afraid to draw any closer? Do they believe I'm about to die from their traitorous blows? Next to me, a quiet moan. A girl with a stolen golden braid lies on the rocks, clutching at her slashed side. She refuses to join with the traitors and paid dearly for it. I could have tried to run, but I will not. Whilst I have strength, I must. While recognizing the forward origin of these thoughts, Rusala Kalten intuits they can control them somehow. Should we try to heal the wounded girl, or furiously call out to the traitors? They've betrayed me, but that doesn't mean I forsake my duty to others. And if they are innocent and chose to be true to me, I should try to be true to them, I believe, for him, so they would heal the wounded girl. A spark of healing magic illuminates the eerie, murky scene before Rusala Kalten. The wounded girl opens her eyes and whispers, Lario, you said everything was going to change soon. You said you and the other warriors of heaven would be leaving us on a grand mission to stop the demons forever. Is that true? The frenzy of foreign thoughts come faster and faster, like a rushing river, and images flash by, one after another. A priestess in colorful robes observing the stars. A young female paladin praying, clutching her glowing sword. A majestic golden winged angel gazing into the distance, his face covered by a helmet, but his voice ringing clear. Only if you're willing, and only if you're ready. There is no going back. Then don't waste your strength healing me, the girl whispers. Your mission is more important. You take care. It is near. There, in the vision, the darkness in the cave stirs into motion. Something massive appears from within the depths. A vague shadow, an outline, a nightmare come to life. A wave of odious chirruping and rustling emanates from the shadow, the sound piercing like hot irons lancing through flesh and bone. The traitors fall to their knees before the shadow in reverent ecstasy, and the wounded girl thrashes in her death throes. The yawning chest wound burns white hot. Rusala Kalten's head pounds with pain, and it is no longer clear whose pain it is, the person called Lariel who sent the vision, or the one unlucky enough to receive it. So we can try and fight off the illusion. We have +4 to our will. We have nothing to knowledge arcana, so we'd have a 50% chance. And can do nothing to fight off the illusion. We can resolve ourselves to watching it. By the way, as far as angels are concerned, angels are a group of altruistic celestials native to all three upper planes, Nirvana, Heaven, and Elysium. They represent all the multiple interpretations of goodness. The eldest angels were one of the first creations of the primordial deities of good, making them one of the oldest races in the great beyond, and were trained as celestial guardians and servants from birth. Most serve their creators to this day. Most angels in modern times come from ascended mortal good souls rather than direct divine creation. Sometimes these souls even retain aspects of their mortal forms. Heaven is a plane in the outer sphere, a realm of pure righteousness where forces of good gather to aid those on less virtuous planes and help worthy souls find rest. Though inconceivably large, it appears to most viewers as a mountain with a mysteriously floating peak. Heaven's residents see law and goodness as largely the same force. Order is the greatest good, and goodness is the greatest order. They recognize the good intentions of Azatas, of Elysium, but view them as misguided children. Similarly, they oppose all the lawful evil forces of hell, but credit them with intelligence and believe they can at least be reasoned into truces and stalemates, and perhaps even redeemed. So, while we have the chance, but maybe we ought to let the vision. We'll hold our own, but we'll watch the visions. Let's see what it comes up to. The force of the vision, the force of this terrifying attack, though originating in the vision, is much greater than anything Rusalica-10 can withstand. Crippling fatigue drags him to the ground, hands trembling, the cold piercing his skull as he's slowly creeping along his spine. The one who sent the vision is experiencing something similar. He is broken and exhausted. A monstrous shadow emerges from the murk of the cave. It is not real. It exists only in this strange vision or memory. But the thrill of fear it provokes is more than real. The shadows of the features starkly resemble those of Discari, the terrifying demon lord. In a movement as swift as thought itself, the monster's hand is wrapped around the throat of the one they call Lariel. The foolish angel, struggling on the rocks like a fly with its wings torn off, intones the shadow. Its voice changes as it moves, shifting from a quiet whispering to a sonorous shout, becoming young, then old, and quavering. Where is your goddess, angel? Where is her self-assured herald? How is it that you are dying here alone, so far from the light of your heaven? A strange calm envelops the thoughts of the one called Laria. He recognizes who stands before him, and he knows he will never bow down before this enemy. The flaming sword flares to life in his hands, bright, pure, flickering with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam through stained glass. Slash! The blade slices through the demonic creature's flesh, and the monster recoils with a howl, releasing his grip on Lariel's throat. The angel falls back heavily on the rocks. His vitality is ebbing, but his pride remains undiminished. He grips the sword, and with the last burst of his strength, plunges it into the rock. Rusalica-10 senses the vision is fading, the rush of thoughts diminishing like a river running dry. The last things he hears is this: "You will kill me, monster. This I know. But one day someone will come here and raise up my sword. They will raise it up and punish evildoers and traitors, or save and protect the innocent." Which do you think, folks? What is the priority? To punish those who trespass, or to save and protect those who cannot do so for themselves? In my brother's case, punish evildoers and traitors. The vision disappears, vanishing in a burst of colors. Rusalica-10 does not hear the final words, but he seems to complete the thought, taking it to heart. The words fly from his lips, and with them something else. The heat blazing in Rusala Kalten's chest fades away. The edge of the scarlet wounds close, leaving not even a scar behind. Looking down, he sees the flaming sword in his hand, or rather its outline, the memory of what the sword looked like. When a final surge of warm and soothing light, the sword vanishes, and the light is drawn into his hand. Rusala Kalten senses that it will return. All he need do is call for it.
Hey, are you alright? You were kinda glowing just now.
Sela kneels before the light, offering up a prayer to Iomade.
That was it. The light of heaven. But how?
What did you do with it? Where did it go?
I think I saw the memories of Lariel, the angel who died here.
Lariel? That really was Lariel? The angel from the legends. The ancestors even got his name right on the gravestone. The chief will be thrilled.
You. Thousands of gongs and no one's been able to touch it. And now you, an ordinary creature of flesh and blood, no different to us, get the sword and start talking about visions.
Now, Wentawag, don't be a sore loser. He is clearly different from us. The sword appeared before him, along with the angel's name and all that other stuff, because he doesn't carry our mongrel taint. Heaven doesn't give a damn how special we are. We're born with evil inside us. Heaven doesn't need to know any more than that.
That seems a bit extreme, don't you think?
I know you're willing to tear anyone apart to uphold our people's honor, but you and Sol, you just refuse to face the truth. We are the way we are because our ancestors' bodies were corrupted by the Abyss. It does the same thing to plants and animals. There's nothing heroic or special about it. It doesn't make us better, and it doesn't make us worthier.
You know, it's weird. If I focus, it seems I can control it.
That is just... wow, I mean, that's amazing. Heaven has truly blessed you.
This power is the most majestic thing I've ever seen in all my life. Is this what the sun is like, Lan?
Yes, it's similar. But this light is more... golden? Chief Sol needs to see this. Now that we have the power of angels on our side, he can't say no. He'll have to assemble a troop to storm the maze. You Uplanders care about your kids, right? Help us save ours. Without them, we won't survive. And then, the perils of the maze won't be so bad if we go together. We'll make our way through it and find the way to Canabras.
Either way, lead us to your chief and I'll decide whether I'm going to help you or not.
Let's go. We'll take the short route. Well, the only route, really.
Alright, so we found a new sword and a greater power. And... protection from evil. The subject gains a +2 deflection to AC and a +2 resistance on bonus and saves. These bonuses apply against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures. Additionally, the abjuration protects you from attempts to dominate or charm the subject. So, protection from evil is just generally useful. The other thing that we did just pick up is an ability. The Light of the Angels. All creatures within a 21st foot burst centered on the caster, you summon a soothing light, warming the hearts of your allies and obscuring the vision of your enemies. Every ally in 20-foot radius gets 1 temporary hit point for an hour, and enemies become dazzled for 1d4 rounds. So, we now have an ability we can use. And this was another skill check to get us across those rocks and into this area. And now we have spiders as a threat. A giant one taking a nice big chunk out of Ursala. Oof. Now both Lan and Wendoag are archers. So they get +1 on certain range with point blank shock, but he also has perfect strike, which can help out, in addition to the range naturally a bow would have.
No match for me.
Alright. And yeah, she's still fatigued, so we'll let them wait. And same with Camila. So we'll let it go. Let them come to us. Nice. And Anivia manages to show off just how good they are.
Me.
Note that the protection from evil we got was because we chose, let's see, going back. Initiative. I was gonna say, don't know if they specifically. Nah, they don't. Okay. Yeah, no, because it was a side effect of the event we went through, basically. Basically, because we chose to.
Awesome, Lan.
Basically, when we allowed ourselves to. Based on our answers, we got a buff. We get a buff depending on whether we want to punish evildoers or protect those. So, here we see we have small elementals. Nothing too amazing. Yeah, have 17 AC. Have an HP of what? Yeah, 13 hit points. They're not especially fast, but they're a little hard to hit. We can also heal. We might as well heal. Take on the Black Dragon aspect. Yeah. It doesn't mean much at the moment. It adjusts our resistances, just so you can see. So now that we've done that, Black Dragon aspect. Let's see, Marshall. Here it is. Let's see. Energy resistance, acid 5. That's because we took on that aspect. So, it'll affect things when we get like later on aspects and breath attacks. But for now, it's also just a manner to heal ourselves. Wendoag, same thing. But Wendoag has... Might as well activate it.
The spirits demand your blood.
Officially, the ability actually affects...
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I was gonna say, the way they have it activated for point blank shot is the archer is always going to look to get into that range, so they won't shoot from outside of it. Nice. 2 nice solid hits.
I'll rip you apart!
Both Camila and Wendoag seem to have some real anger issues. And we just got something very nice in a wand. We can't use it, but I believe Camilla should be able to. Yes. Wand of Cure Light Wounds. So,
I tire of waiting.
Rather than using our own spells,
This is my path.
we can just
The mongrel did it.
Lon tries to push himself as being very very laid back and approachable, but it's clear there's some true and deep self-loathing mixed in with it. Yeah. Now, one thing to note, shooting into combat gave him a -4. So one of those two attacks, armor class 6, would have actually hit if Rusala wasn't there. But he was, so not much you can do. There we go. So had just enough HP that it required 2 attacks. Yep. Alright, we'll have Sela try and finish off the cat. Nope, Centipede's most of the way dead. And Bolivia is showing off her worth even now. Another thing we can do, the Light of Heaven. Give everyone a temporary HP and blind the enemies, making them a little easier to avoid. Not hit necessarily, but avoid. But yeah. Oh.
Onwards.
I was half hoping that the Centipede was going to use acid damage, basically, is why I chose the Black Dragon, because the big ability for the dragon is if you get hit with your elemental type, you heal from it. So.
Check that out.
And more spiders. Well, we don't have any. We don't have anyone next to it, so we should be able to get some nice damage
survive me.
Might as well. Alright. Nope. Still fatigued, so can't do anything. Well, we're getting some damage in. So we'll do Light of the Angels again to blind them. And hopefully get a get a nice shot in. Alright, the Cure Light Wounds we have. There we go. So that was 6 more HP cured. Nice. Nice, the big one's down. And that's the little one. Alright. Now, we did pick up something very nice just now. We picked up a Masterwork Greatsword, which is a two-handed weapon, and while not great for us ourselves, Sela, on the other hand, can wield this. And if I'm honest, because 21 AC versus down to 18, but the Masterwork Greatsword, gives her a +5 to hit, and she does 2d6 plus 4 damage, which is huge. Because effectively what it's doing is the 3 plus 1.5 for using two-handed weapon and using both hands. Effectively, really good.
Ready.
And we've come this far. Oh. Wenduag glances at Lan, who is fixing his slipped bowstring, and quickly walks over to you. Her cat-like eyes glow from beneath her hood. Listen here, you. I don't know who you are or where you come from, but you and I are the only two people here who see things clearly. That's why I'm asking you. Don't show the light of heaven to Sol. Lan is sure that the light of heaven should be shown to the mongrels. I don't think you considered the mongrels to be great warriors. Don't you want to save the kids in the lost in the maze? I'll think about it. Let's go. Lan is sure the light should be shown to the mongrels. Why not? Lan, Wenduag grimaces, and a guttural husky snarl unfurls in her throat. He wants to play the hero. His first idea, if you remember, was to grab the sword and run headlong into the maze. Does that sound like a plan to you? To me it sounds like suicide. The worst part is that the tribe might actually take his words to heart and follow where he leads. I thought you considered the mongrels to be great warriors. The descendants of great warriors. I believe that my people are worthy of greatness, that we are strong and can do many things, and that's why we were chased down here. We scared people. But it's one thing to go hunting in the caves, and another to fight in the shield maze. Wenduag leans closer, her pupils dilating. I've been there. I've spent my whole life training so I can make it through all the way to the end. There were more of us trackers at the start. We were young and stupid. What's a couple of monsters when there's a whole world out there waiting for us? That's what we thought. But we weren't prepared. The maze isn't just a physical challenge. It's cunning and full of traps. It's dark as the primordial night, and if you close your eyes and listen, you can hear whispers right behind you, and soft singing in the distance that seems to rise and fall with the beating of your heart. Wenduag looks away. I had to learn from my friends' mistakes. I had to step over their bodies and go further. I don't want to have to do that again. And it will happen again if a crowd of ill-prepared fighters burst into the maze with no idea where they're going, all because Lan believes that a glowing sword will solve all our problems. And don't you want to save the kids from the maze? I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the future of the tribe for the sake of a few stupid kids. Chief Sol is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous this is for the tribe. Lan's the only one who benefits from these childish games of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to and find them, or whatever's left of them, without any heroics, relying only on myself, risking only my life. Wenduag slows. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together and find a way out to the surface. I'll think about it. Let's go. Wenduag nods. Don't show the chief the light, and I'll lead you through the maze to the surface. I swear it. So, we'll head to Netholm, and we have a conflict already. we reach Netholm, home of the mongrels. Would you look at that? Uplanders. Lan and Wendwag are always dragging back trash from the graves. No offense.
Let us be off.
More mongrels. Alright. I'm going to do a quick save here just because there's a couple reasons, but first I want this encounter to go a certain way. Your first impression of the mongrel village is of a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom, and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white, eyeless fish, while others are repairing fishing nets. All's the signs of a normal village life, but the tense expectation hangs in the air. A heavy-set, aged mongrel slowly shuffles his way towards you. The hair on his head grows limp in wispy strands, and his face has a distinctly rat-like appearance, with pronounced teeth. You hear a rattling sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Uplanders, eh? End times are upon us indeed. Chief So, we found the angel's sword, and we found the one who can wield it, Lamb points at you. He had a vision, and now the angel's sword together with the light of heaven are somehow inside him. Gather the tribe. Anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive. We can go save them. Saul raises his hand with the ragged, broken fingernails. Ah, Lan. Always streaming, always talking. You're too hasty for your own good. It's going to get you in trouble. Saul eyes you up and down. An uplander with the light o' heaven. That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. There's always a catch. Lan trusts the people because he likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lan? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show me the light. Wendwag stares at you intently, like a cat watching a bird, and shakes her head in warning. So we have a choice. We can reveal the light of heaven, which is a lawful action, or we cannot, and be chaotic. Basically, it's a question of which mongrel do you want to side with you. Wendwag or Wendwag or Lan. Well, in this case, it's not his power, but he'll show it off. They want to know the truth. It exists. The heavenly flame. The heavenly flares to life at your unspoken command, bright, pure, dancing with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam passing through stained glass. The mongrels abandon their tasks and stare, transfixed. The light is bright, but not blinding. It is warm, but its warmth is soul deep. Saul is silent for a while, tears streaming down his wide, pale face. But the old man doesn't care to wipe them away. So it's true. The angel did not forsake us. No, he came back. Back from the dead he came. To save our children. Lan gives you a nod of thanks. The scaled half of his face is indifferent, but the human half is visibly relieved, as if he wasn't sure all the time that you would support him. Wendwag hisses at you like an angry cat. See the fishermen and these hunters, these husks of men and women? Their blood will be on your hands! There's nothing to say. What would my brother say? He'd say nothing. It doesn't faze him. He was asked, and he did. You don't even know what to say to that, do you? You're a coward, and now you're a murderer of innocence. You always think the worst when due. We're not on our own in this anymore. We've got allies. Well, a couple at least. But one good fighter's worth 10 bad ones. You have the right of it, Lan. But we're nethers. We're going to wait. I sent a message to summon all the tribes. It will take time, yes, but they will all come. They will all come for the light. Wait, Lan. Wait, Uplanders. Rest a while in one of our huts. Our home is your home. Lan sighs. All right, Chief, understood. Let's hope a few hours isn't going to be the difference between life and death for those kids. If they ask me what took us so long, I'll tell them it was your decision. Wenduag only grits her teeth in silence. Alright. So, I saved a little early. I forgot. Yeah. Here we go. So first off, we got our first level. For reaching Nethholm and being on our way, we managed to level up. So, now for ourselves, we'll be getting our shifter. Rusala will be keeping his shifter. I considered splitting his class, but no, it feels best. Yeah. So, improve the athletics a little more nature, and perception. He gains defensive instinct, so now his wisdom bonus +2 will be added to his armor. So long as he's wearing unarmored and not using a shield. Then Track, second level, gives half her class level as a bonus on lore, so some extra lore nature. So that's definitely worthwhile. So now, if we remove the armor, so our current armor class is 15. It'd be 13 because 10 is the base, +2, which is from the bonus. So it's still worth it to wear armor. But theoretically, if our wisdom goes high enough, we can make it even better.
I tire of waiting.
We will win this war.
And now everyone else, I have it set up so they all kind of auto level, so don't worry about it too much. Effectively, everyone just... There's a set path for the companions. I'm not worried about it because I'll use the companions sparingly and mostly for their story stuff, but if I'm perfectly honest, I fully plan to use customizable characters, unsurprisingly, the entire way through.
I crave your commands.
Well, that's an interesting comment.
I am yours to command.
Okay. So now I will quick save because I did that, so now we can go and explore more of Nethholm. And here we meet someone else. Horgus Squirm. Finally, someone from the surface. I was beginning to lose hope. An elderly man in expensive but not ostentatious clothes approaches you. His face is peppered with several healed cuts and bruises, and twisted an expression of extreme discontent. "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Horgus Worm. Yes, that Worm. You have no doubt heard of me if you've spent any time at all in the city. I have a business proposition for you." "Your name tells me nothing. Who are you?" "You are truly freshly arrived at the city, then. You couldn't have picked a worse time, that's for certain. Only just arrived and the city's been razed to rubble. You should know that you are looking at one of the richest and most distinguished men in Canabras. I may not be well known as certain swaggering loudmouths who spend their lives traipsing from one ball to the next, but the Gwyrm Trading Company is one of the pillars of the city, I'll have you know. Did you see the marquee in the square? I paid for those. Tried any of the festival delicacies? You have Horgus Gwyrm to thank for that." "Well, I can imagine how we got down here. So, what kind of business proposition?" "I don't know what's happening on the surface right now, but I am determined to find out. You have no intention of seeing the rest of your out the rest of your days in this village, I suspect. We must find a route back to the surface, to the city, if there's anything left of it. You are strong. It'll be no trouble to you. But I, alas, am not as fit as I once was. I can't go crawling about throughout the caves playing at scouts. My proposition is simple. Lead me back to the city and I shall pay you 1,000 gold coins." Camellia, I suggest we help this man. It's good to have friends among the Canabras elite. So who's got the best diplomacy? That would be Sela at +7. So she has a 9, so it's a roughly 50-50 shot if we can get an extra bit of gold. So why not? 2,000 gold. We made it. What'd we get? Oh, we got a 19 total, so we rolled a 12. Nice. Horgus's gaze is piercing. Are you taking advantage of my dire circumstances? Very well, make it 2,000. Deal. Splendid. In the meantime, I shall sit here in the village. We have to go. Go on, go on. Don't forget our agreement. When you find the way out, be sure to tell me. So, that's a quest for us. Power twists and warps all who possess it. Once a person becomes accustomed to a special position in society, they develop a condescending attitude towards others. This attitude remains even when society itself crumbles around them. Horgus Gwyrm, a man blessed by noble birth and no small amount of superiority, has found himself in unusual circumstances. He persists in clinging to his riches and power, even as their value dwindles with every passing minute. Horgus Gwyrm's first priority is finding a way to the surface. Yep. He is willing to pay generously for a guide and hire the finest bodyguards money can buy. Unfortunately for Horgus, the best bodyguards are not in the vicinity. He's stuck with us. So, now, this game,
March on.
We'll get to see, but there's a lot to loot and very easily bypassed. So, one of the ways you can do that to spot the lootable stuff is to click the L3 button. What this does is highlight objects. Ourselves, other characters, and every hidden little pouch of loot. So yes, this is the kind of game, if it ain't nailed down, loot it. Absolutely, take everything you can because you're going to need the money, generally speaking.
Let us be off.
And again, we're playing a neutral character, so if they're not looking to, if someone's not looking, yeah, we'll swipe it, the money will come in handy. Because there is plenty of money to be made and plenty of money needed.
Move.
especially for this first part of the game, where if I do it right, I should be able to get us some useful stuff. Alright. By the way, if you click the thumb pad, the middle trackpad, you can also get a map of the local area. So you can help you find where you have and haven't been and how you can find new areas. Yep. Like I said before,
Onwards.
they had a game before this, Pathfinder Kingmaker, which was still reasonably successful and I do own. But from a personal standpoint, I think this one works a little nicer. Ah, and Horgus Worm's not the only one sitting around, and Nivea is. This tragedy may not have happened if you'd spent less time surveilling honest citizens and more time tracking the real spies and demon worshippers. Brilliant idea. How come I didn't think of it? Now if only the cultists would tell us they were cultists. Then we wouldn't have to waste time investigating those honest citizens who decide to go all cloak and dagger right under our noses. Argus and Anivia sit some distance apart, sniping at one another in an idle fashion that testifies to their long acquaintance and mutual dislike. When they notice you, they quickly fall silent. Anivia, how's the leg? Anivia scrunches up her nose. Well, it hasn't fallen off yet, so that's good. They bandaged me up all nice and smeared some stinking stuff on the wound, so it looks like I'm gonna live. They say it'd wait a day and I'll be right as rain, so I'm waiting. What do you guys think of the Mongols? I thought they were just a story, the sort of thing drunks in the taverns would come out with. Now I discover that's true. Well, what can I possibly think of them? The poor creatures are most unfortunate with their faces and their minds so deformed. It's a miracle they're even alive. The part that boggles my mind is that they're the descendants of the first Crusaders. All these years they've been living beneath our feet in caves and in the dirt. If I'd known the legends about them were true, I've dedicated my life to getting them out of this place. To what end? The people of Conabris would have stoned them on sight, and Prelate Holrun would have had them tossed on the pyre en masse. Whatever the ills of this place, it's their home. How long do you think they would have survived on the surface? Yeah, speaking of the surface, what are you planning to do when you get back? I'm going home. Last I knew, I owned a very fine mansion. I shall see if it's still standing or if I'm now homeless. I'm going to find Irabeth. She's my wife and the leader of the Eagle Watch. As long as she lives, she won't allow Conabris to fall. Go on then, and don't dilly-dally. The sooner we get out of here, the likelier we are to find some people still alive up there. Take care of yourself. I think the bad blood kind of goes without needing to be completely explained.
Let us be off. And
we meet Dyra. You there! A tall woman with a face deformed by an enormous swelling broadly smiles at you, showing off a double row of small, sharp teeth. You from the surface! You must be tough to make it all the way here. Never thought I'd see the day. Call me Dyra. Let's trade. Why are you so eager to trade with me? Because all the people here are no better than animals now, Dyra yells with surprising anger. Before being overcome with coughing, wiping her mouth, she continues. Our forefathers lived in the city like you. Our people loved to reminisce about armies, knights, crusades, but I couldn't care less about that. Savages with clubs can fight a war. Only civilized folk can buy and sell. They've all forgotten what trading is. They've forgotten the value of gold. They bar their hides for plant roots and go on about feats of the Crusaders. Who cares about them? I don't need help remembering. I have coins and I have things to sell. Now let's trade like proper city folk. Well, let's trade. So, if you need some particular armor, if you're not feeling a little weak, this is the place to get some good stuff. Let's see. Well, we don't need the torches, the mace, the swords, spears. That's mostly junk. Terendelev scales. Okay, we just did a type of... So weapons, no, we're pretty good on. The magic bracers +1 we don't really need. Scroll inflict light wounds, it could come in handy. Nah, we don't really need it. These can go. Most of these supplies can go, really, because basically we're not going to be doing much for those. So that'll bring us up to 1,200 gold. Nice.
I stand ready.
So we're good there.
Let's move.
Oh, looted some other stuff. Alright. And here's the camp that they want us to rest at.
Follow me.
But first, let's go finish our looting. Get everything that's not nailed down, because we're gonna need it.
March on.
Because there's quite a bit. And this is the way out, and we've explored all of Nethel. Doesn't seem like much, and that's because it isn't. Just a quiet, unremarkable town that just happens to be full of mongrels and underground. Well, we've done everything we can. Let's get some rest.
We should move.
9 hours later. Land, the messenger returned. The tribes are gathering at the entrance to the maze. Our people have already gone there. I've warned Anivia and that old guy who won't even acknowledge me. Take your time, there's no rush. The most important people always show up late. Everything's going to plan, but one thing's bothering me. Wendog's gone. All the tribes? So a whole army is marching to the maze then? By mongrel standards, yes, but don't be disappointed when you see the reality. There aren't many of us who can hold a weapon, and fewer still who can do any damage with one. What do you think happened to Wendog then? I don't know. She was always stubborn. Maybe she decided she could do it all on her own? I hope she comes back. We'll struggle without her, and she'll struggle without us, no matter how hard she tried to deny that. Well, let's go. There's no time to lose. Let's go, but before we do, thank you. I was so happy I forgot to thank you before, but you've done something no one else has in a long time. You've given mongrels hope. It's like we're starting to believe that we're worth something. Now that we have the power of the angels on our side, Lan's face grows sullen. It won't change anything, of course, but at least you'll help us save the young ones, hopefully. Let's go through the main gate. The straight road is the shortest. So, we now have access. We're down Wendog, but we're heading to the shield maze. So, let's get moving. The caves at the shield maze. Alright.
Let us be off.
And let us keep going. Oh, another blizzard. Here we go. You can get an advantage by charging it. We're only going to get one attack anyway, so... And we'll have Sela move in. Oof. And Rizal's not having any luck. He got poisoned right off the bat.
Forwards! Adventures await.
And that's why I like that double. That's why I like that great sword on him. Yay! On Sela. Sela, basically, I typically give great swords because she just seems to have a natural affinity for them. Let's see. And we got a 21, so we rolled an 11. Nice. So we managed to get the skin of a monitor lizard, and that will allow us to... Now, dexterity, yeah. Damage until we... Yeah, help of a lesser restoration. And the venom, we need to save once in the next 5 hours. Frequency, 1 onset 1 minute. Cure, 1 save. So it's not a particularly potent one, but it is just enough to be damaging. Tribes are gathering. Soon we will attack. How long can we wait? The tribes haven't turned up yet. We're just going to wait for them for just a little while. Knowing so, the preparations will take the best part of a day. Let's go take a look in the maze ourselves and see what's what. So, let's see. Who had the highest in lore religion? I believe it was... Yeah, so Camilla. So... Yeah, so we want to switch over to Camilla.
Well?
Treat Affliction. On Rousseau. Nope. And we used the first aid kit and got nothing. Oh no, she did get rid of the minor lit. Okay. Doesn't get rid of the damage, but at the very least gets rid of the minor. Okay. Treat Affliction. Okay. You can only do it once per day, so that's just... He can't be hit by that again. Okay. And now we've entered the shield maze, the vaunted shield maze itself. And I think we'll save what we encounter here for next time. I think this is a good place to stop it for now. Thank you all for joining me. I have been the Ephemeral One, and this has been the beginning of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. On this, or maybe something else. Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.